from, again, looking at David's site, Lost in the Ozone. We had a website in this neighborhood that documents stuff that's going on. It's an incredible website, and there's so much going on that we don't know about here, and hopefully we try to bring this to people's attention here. I'd like to present Ed Wendell and his partner Ramon about Project Woodhaven, a website that was launched in October.
Thank you guys. Good evening. My name is Ed Wendell. Very, very happy to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me the opportunity to
Our pleasure.
talk. I've never spoken to a microphone before, so bear with me. Okay, I've lived in Woodhaven just about my entire life. I lived on one side of Woodhaven Boulevard, and then I lived on the other. Lived on one side of Jamaica Avenue, lived on the other. So I've lived all around Woodhaven. For many years, I lived on Jamaica Avenue. Have any of you ever lived on Jamaica Avenue? You have? What's the one thing you have to get used to on Jamaica Avenue?
Well, the train, but I was so young, they never bothered.
That was the advantage I had. I was brought into the house as a baby, and I never even heard the trains until I was 10 years old, and we moved out of the neighborhood. Then I didn't hear them anymore, and we all had trouble getting to sleep until we moved back. About a year later, we were about a block off the avenue. We had just moved into our apartment. And you know what it is when you move into a new place, and everything's kind of new. You got all the boxes around, you're sitting wherever you can. And we hear it. We hear the train. Oh, my dad said, oh, we're home again. That's how we do it. Like a big wing. Every September, my mom took me to Jason's, which just recently closed, to get my school supplies. And I get the little plastic book bag. I'd be online, I'd look up the little sign and see how many days left until Christmas. Halloween, I'd go to Lewis's. They'd have all the Halloween costumes hanging by the register. One year I was a $6 million man.
Steve Majors.
Every winter, go up to Forest Park, sleigh ride, go down the Sioux Bowl, sneak in the golf course to do it, of course.
Of course.
Officer Fisher, you're not gonna.
He's retired.
We used to take the sled and go down ourselves.
Every spring, march in the Woodhaven Parade down Jamaica Avenue. And then, you know, always growing up, going to the Haven. Double features back in the days when they had double features. These are the stories of me when I grew up in Woodhaven, but they're not just my stories. They're your stories, they're everyone's stories. It's the same stories. And people like sharing them. And when you run across someone who lived in Woodhaven, you start talking to each other, you're talking about the same story, and it's something people get a kick out of. They like hearing it, they like talking to each other about it. Let me tell you a story. When I was in Chicago a couple of years ago, I was there on business, and at the end of the day, we get back to the hotel, go to the bar, and there was a Met game on. The Cubs, Chicago Cubs, they were in New York playing the Mets, so a bunch of us who were from New York, we were sitting in the corner. We were getting pretty loud. And the Mets started beating the Cubs up pretty badly, and we got out a little bit louder. And this big guy got up and walked across the bar and started heading towards us. And I started getting nervous. Now you gotta remember, it's all about perspective. When I tell you it was a big guy,
That's what I was just thinking.
I'm looking up at this guy and I'm thinking, you know, this might be a good time for me to get behind my friends. So the guy comes over and he says, "You guys mind if I sit with you? Because I'm about the only other Met fan in the place." And we're like, "Yeah, come on, sit down, great." So he sits down and he says, "Where are you guys from?" So we had a few guys from Jersey. And we had some guys from Long Island and Flushing all over. As soon as I said to him, I said, "I'm from Queens, Woodhaven." Oh, the guy comes over, he hugs me. No, it wasn't on. I'm not used to getting hugged. But he comes over, he starts talking, man. We start talking, he's like, oh, what's it like? You know, what's going on there? I haven't been there in years. And this is a guy who lived here from the time he was like, I think he said he was like about 4 or 5, till the time he was like 14 or 15. Down. He lived in Europe. I think he was currently living in like Denver, Colorado. He lived all over the place. I told him Lewis is a Woodhaven had just closed down, and you would think I told him his dog had just died. It was depressing for him. He was just, but he started talking, asking me about it. He said, oh, remember that place with that rock in the middle of the street? Yeah, I lived over by there. Did you go, what school did you go to? We found out I went to PS 60. Oh, well, you know, what teacher did you have? We shared 1 or 2 teachers. Then he says to me, he says, you know, he goes, I haven't been home in years. But this guy's lived all over the place, and he's still considered Woodhaven home. So it was nice. Bought me a lot of drinks.
Good man.
Real Woodhavenite.
So the thing is that there's this, for people who used to live here, there's this hunger for news about Woodhaven, for this connection. And that's sort of how we started, you know, with what we started going out and looking on the web, and we were looking for places to share these ideas, and we finally decided, let's start something up ourselves. Let's do something, you know, something unique. So, myself and my partner, Ramon, Ramon's over there. Ramon, can you stand up? We started this, and actually we started looking for a good name for the website, a good, you know, URL. That's the www dot whatever you put in there. Turns out there's a lot of Woodhavens out there. Woodhaven.com was taken. It's a woodworking tool manufacturer. And then there's Woodhaven, Michigan, Woodhaven Lakes. There's Woodhavens all over the place. So we just started talking about it. While we were trying to come up with a name, every time we talked about this project, we kept on calling it Project Woodhaven. And then the name just stuck with us, and that's what we ended up calling it. And what Project Woodhaven is, basically what we have is we have a main page, and we have some satellites to it. We're really trying to spread out and capture as many people as possible. We have what we call blogs. You hear about it today. Everyone's blogging. David right here, David Quintana is a blogger. Does anyone else here blog? You're gonna blog. I'm going to be looking for bloggers. So what we have is we have a group blog where people can just join and they can just write. And we have a group blog where people can come and see stories about Woodhaven. And that's what we want to have. So we have a blog. Then what we have is we have a lot of original content that we try and do. And it's just little things that we look for, and we try and just write stories of interest.